Same thing that has to happen for Antonio Brown. He's been away from the game for a little bit, dealing with all his demons and dealing with everything he's been forced to deal with. But on top of that, there's going to have to be an acclimation period. There's still a period where he's going to have to the light's going to have to go on for him. Now, can he put his feet in cleats and turn it on right away? He has that ability, but I think we may see something like what we witnessed with Gronk. It's going to take 1 or 2 or 3 weeks for him to really kind of get his mojo back. And when that does happen, it's going to be scary because AB and Brady, we got a glimpse of it, against the Dolphins when they started connecting, and it looked like a problem. So the fact that it's happening in Tampa Bay, and listen, on top of that, to what Joey was talking about, he played with me, he played with Byron Leftwich, he played with Larry Foote, he played with Antoine Randall, he played under Bruce Arians. He's going home technically. He's just going to be wearing a different uniform. But these guys know AB on a personal level. And so that type of connection, that type of communication, hopefully AB has respect for these guys and understands, like, listen, I'm not dealing with the other jokers I was dealing with. I'm dealing with guys who knew me from a grassroots level. So hopefully I come correct and I'm not trying to mess this thing up. Hopefully that's the case. I want AB to be successful. I want AB to be a better person off the field. I want AB to be a better role model for his kids because ultimately his kids look up to him, especially when, imagine like me and you, Che, me and you are fathers. If our kids play with other kids and they're like, hey, we love your dad, but what about this? That's hard to swallow. You know what I mean? That's hard to deal with. So I just want I want better for AB, and I want him to be a better person. Hopefully he's matured through all this. But like to Joey's point, we just got to wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty conflicted on it because I've talked to you about it. I've talked to, several people that kind of have inside knowledge about Antonio Brown, and, none of the reports necessarily are glowing about him as a person. What I would say, and, I have to try and reason with this because, he's a Buck. No matter what, whoever is wearing a Bucks uniform, whether it's, Jameis Winston, Antonio Brown, whoever, Tom Brady, I'm rooting for them. So I'm absolutely cheering for Antonio Brown when he steps on the field. He doesn't have a great reputation, but I will say this is kind of, I don't want to say it's his last chance because, there can always be, another team.
How can it not be his last chance?
Yeah. I mean, there were suitors for him. When you look at the other suitors, like the Seattle Seahawks, the Baltimore Ravens, I mean, these teams are teams that are going to be in the mix in December and January and maybe even February. So this was going to be an impact signing. He chose the Bucks. Tom Brady lobbied for him over the summer, was told essentially no. And then the story goes kind of like you said, Mike Evans and Chris Godwin both ended the year on IR with hamstring injuries. Both have missed games this year with hamstring injuries. The Bucs offense is a very vertical offense. You're going to run a lot of go routes, so your hamstrings are going to be strained. Bruce Arians called him an insurance policy. And to be fair, we got a glimpse of what the Bucs look like with limited weapons. I mean, O.J. Howard, who was one of Brady's favorite targets, ruptured his Achilles, out for the year. We saw against Chicago, Chris Godwin being out, and then Mike Evans essentially playing on one leg, and the offense looked terrible. So if you can add a guy who, like you said, is instant offense at a low risk, I mean, they can basically cut him whenever. And Bruce Arians has said if this goes to court during the season or whatever, and he's found guilty of, whatever he was charged of, he's going to be gone. So they really have all the leverage. And what I can say is, listening to the press conferences, they did ask all the veteran players and the team leaders on that team before they signed him, hey, are you comfortable with us bringing this guy in? And all of them to a man said yes. Now, when you look at his performance on the field, the NFL top 100 is, we can kind of take that with a grain of salt. But in 2019, going into that season, after he was traded by the Steelers, he was the number 2 player in the league. Correct. So, I mean, you look at production on the field, this guy, if he's 80% of that guy he was a year and a half ago, he's the best player on the team.